All right. Whoa. Hey, hello everybody. Welcome back to Dumbing It Down with Dave. This is episode 19, I think. Episode 19, I'm pretty sure. I think. What's the matter, Dave? You can't keep up? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's 19. And chances are, in advance, I will probably title the show Orlando. I don't see how I'm going to avoid talking about it, so let's just call it Orlando. And if it turns out to be something other than Orlando, if I talk myself out of it, then so be it. But at least I started off with it, and I aim to get to it. So, hello, dum-dums. Welcome back to the Dumbcast. This is, in fact, Dumbing It Down with Dave, the fastest podcast on Earth, traveling at speeds of at least 65 miles an hour as I record it, allegedly. All of this is allegedly, by the way, as I record this allegedly in my Kia Rio, 2008 Kia Rio, which now has, 208,932 miles, still going strong. Dave, are you doing a Kia commercial? No, I'm just letting people know. You mean the rest of us that have been listening to this for the 18th time or the 19th time, we have to hear this again? Yes, because you have not been listening. So I'm being very honest about that. I don't think anybody's listening to this. So just in case, at some point, somewhere, somehow, somebody discovers the show and decides to become a listener. Right now, I have one follower. I have one follower. That person is a friend of mine. So, and that's a mercy follow. It's not even a real follow. It's a mercy follow. I've only gotten a couple of comments. These are mercy comments from friends of mine. Actually, one friend of mine. So one specific friend is a follower. The other specific friend is the commenter and emailer. So, and by the way, the follower, I might as well say, is Mike, also known as 3D from the Comedy Pipe Network, comedypipe.com. With his show on Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. Wednesdays, every Wednesday, wherever you are on this planet. Is that true? Maybe not. So let's just say Wednesday nights, New York State, United States of America, Eastern Standard Time or Daylight Savings Time. Boy, you're really complicating it, Dave. Yes, 8 o'clock on the internet, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 8 p.m. Whatever day it is today that you're listening to it, you know, if it's a Wednesday, then it's 8 p.m. New York, whatever time it is at New York at 8 o'clock. That's a Yogi Berra-ism. What time is it at 8 o'clock in the United States in New York on Wednesdays? I don't know. But whatever time it is at 8 o'clock, that's when you listen to it. Okay, so there's my plug for Comedy Pipe. The show is called Pipe Dreams. Pipe Dreams. I dream of... No, they don't dream of pipes. It's Pipe Dreams because it's called the Comedy Pipe Network. And there's plumbing in the logo. There's some sort of plumbing. Maybe it's taken from the movie... Is it 1984? The movie Brazil, where Robert De Niro makes a guest appearance. I think it's one of those Monty Python-esque movies. What's the name of that guy that does all those movies? Time Bandits and all that other stuff. I'm not really sure. Palin? Sarah Palin? No. Michael Palin? No. I don't know. One of those guys from Monty Python did the movie Brazil. Maybe not. Maybe it's just Australian. Maybe it's just American but ridiculous. No, I'm pretty sure it's English. Monty Python people making the movie Brazil. Robert De Niro makes a cameo, and it's all about plumbing. The movie has a lot to do with plumbing. Does it? I don't know. It's a very strange movie. I think I've seen it 1.5 times. It's a little hard to swallow. But I think it's a lot of fun, and it's very creative. Maybe it's not a lot of fun, but I'm pretty sure it's creative. I don't remember. I've seen a lot of movies in my lifetime. I don't know how people remember these movies. But that movie was distinct. Brazil. Brazil. What does it have to do with Brazil? I don't think anything. Really. I don't think anything. I think they just called the movie that. So anyway, Comedy Pipe, the logo has plumbing in it. Pipes. There's pipes in it. I refer to it as plumbing. They might refer to it as their comedy. They have comedy pipes. Comedy Pipe? I don't know. I don't know the authenticity and the originality of it all. So just email them at Pipe Dream. They're on the Twitter. They're on the Skype. They're interactive. You can call them up on Wednesdays and say, hey, why do you call it Pipe Dreams? What's Comedy Pipe? I don't know. Okay, there you go. That's a lot of time I just dedicated for my show that nobody listens to. So people could maybe go over and not listen to that show as well. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. Just want to give you a heads up. I gave you all the basic details of the show. Today's show, a little bit different, only because of the fact that I now have another phone. Have I been gone for an extended period of time? Have I been gone for like a week or two? I think so. I think 18th episode was a while ago. I think it was 2 weeks ago. But Dave, you have to be consistent in this business. Yeah, I know. I was consistent, putting out podcasts every week. It's just that my phone broke. My phone broke. Oh, yeah, my phone broke a couple of weeks ago. Then I did one podcast, episode 18, which didn't sound very good. I didn't care for the quality. But I really, my back was up against the wall, and I published that podcast anyway. That is up there, episode 18. What did I call it? I don't even remember. I don't remember. It's up there. And I want to thank, so I have the new phone. I'll get to who I thank in a second. There's a rabbit trail I might get back to. Let's see. I have an Unetco. Unetco? UNNECTO? Or UNECCTO? No. UNECTTO? I have no idea. I bought it from B&H down in New York. I got an email at the right time. It was on sale for some ridiculous low price of like $40 some odd. So I bought a Unetco. Not a Samsung, not a Motorola, not any of those other phones that everybody talks about. This is a cheapo phone. But it seems to be great. It does a lot. Apparently it's only maxed out at 3G. I don't do 4G. I thought you said the show was called Orlando. Yeah, I know. It's not a good way to start. I'm going to get into the whole Orlando thing in a second here. But this is how I start my show. I give you a little something. But Dave, we hate the little something. Who cares about your little somethings? Well, don't listen to the show. Goodbye. Did you hang up already? Too late. I hung up on you. No, I didn't. I can't. But I would if I could. I don't care. Okay. Mark says I care. I don't really care. Who's Mark? He's the one guy that wrote a letter and actually wrote comments. All my other 296 fake book friends can't be bothered to listen to the show and then therefore, and then after compliment or comment or critique. They just, they don't listen because everybody's selfish. Selfish. That's the word of the day. Selfish. Yes. Dave, how's the therapy working out for you? Pretty good. I know people are selfish. I'm just not angry about it as I used to. I used to get furious. Now I'm not as furious. Really, Dave? You sound pretty furious and negative. No, I know. It's just, I'm not. So what was the rabbit trail? Does anybody remember? I don't remember. I've already forgotten it. I didn't even yawn yet. Boy, Dave, you talk a lot and you say nothing. And you talk fast and you say nothing and talk a lot. Yeah, I know. I'm getting to it. Unetco. That's my new phone. Unetco Air. Air. That's so funny. Air. Like MacBook Air or something? Or Air Nikes or Air Jordans? Like Air. Why don't you throw in Air? Remember like years ago it was green or Vermont. Everything Vermont. You can't make a teddy bear unless it's Vermont. You can't make pajamas unless it's Vermont. Maple syrup, Vermont. Oh, yeah. Everything's Vermont. Remember that years ago? Oh, who was that other guy that people used to love? The plaid Jack, I'm not going to remember. Like there was the decorator, Jack, see, you're sitting there going, I know, I wish he would just say it. Email me. Oh, there you go. A reminder. Email me. Dumbing it down with Dave. Dumbing it down with Dave at yahoo.com. I don't think comments are available on my website yet, and I'll get to that in a second. That was part of the thanks. So how can you comment? How can you, Jack Forster? Oh, what was that? Everything was plaid or everything was green. It was Jack Bauer? No, Jack. Was it even Jack? Oh, I wish I could pause this and call my wife. I think I can. I need to phone a friend. I need to phone a friend during my podcast. Jack Bauer. Was it Bauer? Jack Bauer's from 24. Was it a Bauer? Was it a different Bauer? Was it Artie Bauer? Arnie Bauer? Something Bauer. I'm getting close. No, Dave, you have it. I don't know. I don't know what I have. So anyway, remember that everything was plaid or everything was green, and you could buy a Jeep and it would be decorated in that whole thing. So yeah, okay. So there's Air. Everything was Vermont. Everything was Bauer or whatever it was, and now everything is Air. So I have a Unetco 5.0 Air. It's an Air. What does it do? I don't know. Air. I wouldn't have bought it if it didn't say Air. I would have said, no. What is that, the 5.0? I want the one with air. If I want to be able to pump it up. Remember the Air Jordans or something? You'd pump them up. I want to pump them up. Stupid Americans. 5.0 Air. No, I probably would have bought it if they called it the 5.0 XL. Anything XL. Men love that. XL. Has to be an XL. What are the other suffixes that are people that men, mostly men, right? Women don't care for suffixes. They like anything called lady. Lady Remington, lady no-nose. What is that? The no-nose? I don't know if that's called a lady. I don't think women are really convinced. Women are convinced by other things. They want luscious lips. Luscious lips that men disgust. They're disgusted by it, by the way. They want thick lashes. Men don't give a crap about your lashes. What is it? Who's that comedian? Cat. I don't remember his name. The black comedian. Where he says, and all right, folks, get your. I'm offended by what you said. Hats on, because I'm about to say something offensive. What is Cat Williams? He says he does that whole thing about nails, about girls with the nails, the crazy nails. So I think it's pretty much a no-brainer that black women are way more concerned about growing those insanely long and curly, scratchy, painted, designed nails than white women are. White women like that Barbra Streisand look. French cut? Is that what they women? The white Jewish women? I don't know. Italian women? Whatever. French. My wife told me once. I'm trying to be as heterosexual as I can. So during this special Orlando episode, so I don't remember what. I think it's French cut. So I think the black women like the crazier, curlier, designed, outstandingly long, unnecessarily long nails. So Cat Williams, the black comedian, he's just a comedian. I know, but for the sake of the white people who don't listen to the show, I have to define him as a black comedian. So this way, when they go, I never heard that guy. Yeah, because he's black. That's why. Oh, see, I knew there was a good reason why I label. I do it for the white people, not for the black people. Black people know who Cat Williams are. And everything I say from here on in, episode 19, 20, 25, whatever, anything I say black, the black people already know who that person is. I only do it for the white people. Because I know if anybody's going to not listen to the show, it's going to be white people more than black people. Black people are never even going to find out about this show. What? Yeah. Because what I'm doing, black people don't, what, Dave? What? No, I don't know. It's not that I even know what I want to say. They don't listen to podcasts? I don't know what they do. What, black people do different things? No, they don't. In fact, I just met a black woman the other day who's a podcast nerd. And I'm pretty sure she doesn't care for my show. But that's okay, because I told her it was okay. I met her, and she told me she was a podcast nerd. And then I said, listen, here's my podcast, but I'm sure you're not going to like it. And I'm sure you probably won't even find it. God knows how you even find this show. Dumbing It Down with Dave at yahoo.com. So how many rabbit trails do I have now? If I don't finish the nail thing and Cat Williams, I got to get back to the thank. I got to thank somebody. It's all related. Dumbing It Down with Dave at yahoo.com. You can find me on Spreaker under Dave Canyon's Tracks. Kanyan. For some reason, it's not under Dumbing It Down with Dave. I think I made a mistake somewhere. I'm afraid to change it and fix it because I think I'm going to mess it up permanently, and I'm waiting for a lot of time to go by, and then I'll eventually fix it. That's neither here or there. So Cat Williams has this line. I don't know a lot of Cat Williams comedy, but I caught on to this one day and it made me laugh so hard. And Cat Williams says, once again, black comedian, for you white people, black people already know who Cat Williams is. Cat Williams does a line, never in the world, he says, never in the world of niggerdom. I love that. That's a great phrase. Never in the world of niggerdom has there ever been a black man who said, I'm not going to have sex with you. I think he gets a little bit more explicit. More explicit than niggerdom? Yeah, I'm going to say the F word, but not, I'm not going to say the F word. I'll say F word, but I'll say niggerdom, because Engerdom doesn't sound right at all. There's never in the world of niggerdom has there been a black man who said, I can't have sex with you because your nails aren't long enough. I think that's a great line. That's such a great line. And I don't know what else in the world of niggerdom never happens, but Cat Williams has the corner on that market. It didn't go as viral as You Might Be a Redneck, but maybe in the black community it did. I know in the white community it absolutely did not. But I think that's hilarious if Cat Williams did in fact continue that never in the world of niggerdom. That's great. I love it. That is great. Like Judum, Kingdom, there's other DOM type words. So that's great. So if Jeff Foxworthy is going around saying you might be a redneck if, that worked very well for him. I think it worked as well in the non-black communities. Never in the world of niggerdom has this happened. So there you go. Note to Cat Williams: bring that back, fine tune that, hone that, and you might just start doing Jell-O commercials. Bill Cosby's out. You're in. Why? Because he's black and the other guy's black? No, I'm just saying. It's just the first thing that occurred to me. Because Jeff Foxworthy, I think, took You Might Be a Redneck into the commercial world. Did he? He might not have. The other guy did. The cable guy. He took his cable guy character into the commercial world. There you go. All right, so sort of one and the same, but not really. Separate and different. Okay. But you know what I mean. When you're a comedian and you make something work, Ellen DeGeneres. I hope you're enjoying the Orlando episode. Dave, that's not funny. No, it's very funny because I'm totally not getting to it. And I'm trying to keep this episode down to a half an hour. Oh, what did I just hit? Okay. I'm trying to keep this episode down to a half an hour. I'm already at 18 and a half minutes. 16 and a half minutes. I should wear my glasses when I do this podcast. So, and I haven't gotten to it yet. So, and I'm not trying to mock anything. I'm just doing what I do. What is it that you do, Dave? Well, what I do is, notice how I didn't say what I do. What I do is I grab the phone, I hit the record button, and I wing it. I don't prepare. I could, but I don't. No, actually, I couldn't. I don't have the time. So I just wing it. I grab the mic, and I just go. People ask me, do they really ask me? No. 2 people have asked me, so how do you do your podcast? I go, I grab the mic, and I go. I'm in the car. I'm on my way to work, and I go. Well, you don't hold the phone in your hand while you're driving. And I say, well, allegedly I do. Allegedly, I hold the phone in my hand while I'm driving. Not if the jury's listening to this. If the jury's listening to this, no. I add the sound, the ambient sound of driving behind me. I'm painting the story, the picture story. So there you go, Cat Williams. There's my advice to you. And here's my rabbit trail. I am back. And here's who I have to thank. I have to thank Mike from 3D. Mike from 3D? Mike, 3D. That's what white people do. They call themselves 2 different names. No, black people do it too. Mike, also known as 3D from the Comedy Piper Network. He actually changed my WordPress theme. I was using Argent. Now it's Moon. Notice how the world just stopped moving on its axis. I'm now using Moon. I was using Argent. Argent is no good. Moon, better. So 3D came and updated the website, and now you can listen to all 18 episodes, or you can continue to not listen to the show, but not listen to it on my website, Dumbing It Down with Dave. If you type Dumb with Dave, D-U-M-B, by the way, is how you spell it, not D-U-M. Really, Dave? Yes, really, because there are a lot of people I know that are that dumb, D-U-M-B, that don't know. That's how you spell dumb, D-U-M-B. Dumbing It Down with Dave. You can write Dumb with Dave, and it'll still take you to dumbingitdownwithdave.com. And you can listen to all 19 episodes, including this one, complete with incomplete show descriptions, or incomplete with complete show descriptions, because not all the shows have I put show descriptions in, which I absolutely should have. So, I hope you don't hear that. My phone is ringing. You probably don't hear that, so I won't even mention it. Too late, already mentioned it. So thank you, 3D, from Comedy Pipe and Pipe Dreams. Count this as your second plug. Thank you for updating my website, so I now have 18 or 19 episodes. 18 now, 19 after this one. And I appreciate it, because I don't know when I would have gotten to it. All right, there you go. That's everything, pretty much, except for Orlando. All right. So Orlando just happened. What's Orlando? For those that are listening to this in the time capsule and listening to this in 2036 after I've died, at the age of 72. Or 73, I don't know exactly. So the Pulse nightclub, arguably, I don't know, a gay dance club, a gay club, a gay bar, gay whatever. I'm still interested in how something becomes gay. But you know what? They didn't exclude non-gays. There were non-gays there. Non-gays? Heterosexuals, you mean? Yeah, whatever. Gay, non-gay, heterosexual. Everybody was accepted. All religions, all creeds, races, heights, weights. They had security at the door, but I guess as long as you were of age and wanted to enter, you were allowed. Everybody was accepted at Pulse. And from what I understand from Pulse and pretty much all gay clubs, it's pretty hard to go in there and be not conspicuous, to be overly concerned with your appearance or your height, your weight, your whatever. What's the word? Conscientious? That's not the word. Conscious? Whatever. Overly concerned because everybody in there is different. More different than a heterosexual sports bar. You know what? I'm going to go on the edge and say yes. People at gay clubs, and I'll go back to Studio 54. I mean, I don't know how you can argue with that. It's pretty hard to stand out at a gay club because everybody's standing out. I mean, I guess the more flamboyant you are in your style of dress, your attire, you could stand out. But from what I remember I never attended Studio 54. I have been to, where have I been? That's a gay club. In Albany, I've been to, oh wow, I don't remember what it was called now. What is it called? Works. Something Works. Wow, my apologies to my friends at my favorite gay club in Albany. I can't remember. I performed there. Doesn't matter. And in the Village in Manhattan, I had friends that were in show business, and I went with them to a cabaret, really, of more than a gay club. Of course, I can't remember that name right now. For some reason, I'm drawing a blank. One is choking me on remembering the other. So we'll get back to it. It doesn't really matter. But I've been to gay clubs, and, I was I the only heterosexual? How do I know? I didn't wear my heterosexual armband. I didn't wear my armband that identified me as non-gay. Because I don't want people hitting on me. So I wear the armband. It says NG on it. NG. Non-gay. I could have put a Jewish star on it. They would have identified me as a non-gay Jew. Anyway, what's the point? The point is, anybody can go to this club. And it was open to everybody. And this guy that shot up the club, this is a horrible thing. So what I'm saying is nothing different. What I'm saying is nothing new. This podcast isn't here to break ground on these things. It's unprepared, unscripted. I'm winging it. But I would feel kind of a little bad, a little weird. I could get away with it. Nobody would care. Nobody's listening to this podcast anyway. If I did episode 19 and not mentioned the events that occurred in Orlando at the Pulse nightclub. But for history's sake, and sort of for my sake too, because I kind of feel like I have some sort of an obligation. Not really, because it's the world of podcasting. You can do whatever you want. I have an obligation as a human being on this planet, not so much a podcaster. As a human being on this planet, which this show is directly related to, being a human being on this planet. Or on other planets too. I can only speak for this planet, but maybe human beings on other planets, or non-humans on this planet Earth. I speak to them, or I speak to anybody who will listen, which is nobody, and hopefully people can relate. So if you don't want to hear about Orlando, then go ahead and shut it off. Sit around and wait for episode 20. or go back to the website and listen to some other podcast you might have missed, or listen to anybody's podcast. It's a horrible thing. Gun rights, well, I think people should have the right to own guns. I think people should have the right to feel the way they feel as far as hatred or love. So I support the gay rights movement, because if you love somebody of the same sex, that's fine. It doesn't make a difference to me. And that's my philosophy. Does that make you pro or anti-gay? Well, I'm not anti-gay. I'm as pro-gay as I need to be. I don't think I'll ever march. I don't think I'll ever do anything above and beyond, and I shouldn't have to. Shouldn't? No, I don't have to. Because in my mind, it's fine. It doesn't affect me. I am not in a gay relationship. I do not require a gay relationship. Same thing for civil rights, although I am a human being and I like civility. That's not what we mean, Dave. Well, in other words, I support the rights of black people, Jewish people, Chinese people, immigrants. What about illegal immigrants? Illegal, non-documented, whatever. That is a little bit of a different story. There is the question of legality. But let's stay on Orlando here for a second. Let's try to stay on track. Because, Dave, you really haven't said nothing yet. Well, no, I'm saying that it's a horrible thing what happened. This gun, this crazy weapon this guy used, should it be legal to own? I really hate the idea of the government telling me anything. You're one of those guys, Dave? No, I don't know what those guys are. There's just things that I don't want the government telling me what to do. I don't like the government telling me I have to wear a seatbelt. That's as far back as I go. I go back about 40, 50 years. I don't like the government mandating me to wear a seatbelt. Why? Because you're a truck driver? No, because I'm in my car. My car. It's my car. I own my car. And I own my rights to my safety. But what about the others? Well, as long as I don't drive excessively fast or whatever and become a projectile out my windshield and land on something, And by the way, you know how rarely that happens? That happens incredibly rarely. You know how every time there's a airplane accident, a crash, or whatever, they go, well, even with this accident and 250 people dead because of this big 727 or whatever it is, and they're all missing and dead. Even with this accident in the books, flying is still the safest mode of travel. Am I over half an hour? Yeah, I'm getting there. So I didn't accomplish what I want to accomplish. I'm not going to rush the ending of this. I still have a couple of days to go I can go longer than a half an hour. But my future desires are that this podcast will be a half hour or less. I could shorten this up quite a bit. I agree. I know you're saying the same thing. Well, you're shortening up by not listening at all. So I'm going to shorten it up by making my thoughts a little bit more concise. I doubt it I'll ever prepare. So I don't like the government telling me, and so they'll tell you, even after these plane crashes, flying is still the safest mode of transportation, they'll say, or whatever it is that they say, and you all heard it. Whatever it is, flying is one of the safest modes of transportation. I don't know how safe it is compared to trains. I don't know how safe it is compared to cars. I don't know. I just don't like them telling me I have to wear a seatbelt. Do I like them telling me I can't hold a phone in my hand? I have to be hands-free? I don't like them telling me that. I don't mind them telling you that. What? That's not fair. Well, you as in the person, maybe not you specifically, Mark, maybe not you specifically, Mike, maybe not you specifically, Linda, or you, Diane, or you, whoever. I'm making up these names of people who I hope and wish are listening to my show. Anna Marie, not you, but people who in my commute in this car or in my truck that I drive by and I look down and I go, wow, they are not paying attention. They're not paying attention. And it's dangerous. And I see them swerving. I see them doing bad things. And I know that there's a problem. I know there is. So, Dave, you don't think you have a problem? I know, right? That's classic denial. It's not me, it's them. I know. So, what can I tell you? There's certain things I don't like the government doing. I'm not so anti-government. I'm not one of those people. I'm not going to take over an animal refuge or whatever they call that, one of those environmental place. I'm not going to take a building, an American government building, hostage. Am I going to occupy something? I doubt it I'll ever occupy anything. I really don't know. I don't know. So, but this gun, was it an assault rifle? I don't even know the specifics of it. But I hear them talking about it on the news. I've been busy. I haven't had a chance to really sit there and pay attention to the weapon he used. But it's probably above and beyond. Let's say this. It is above and beyond what anybody needs to own. But that's no different from a high-powered motorcycle or a hot rod. I mean, I'm looking at my Kia right now. The speedometer says 140 miles an hour, 220 kilometers per hour. For all those of you who are in metric world, which is everywhere in the world except for America, I guess. So look at your car. You're probably in your car right now listening to this on your phone. Are you ever going to do 140? What's the point? Why don't speedometers just go to 65 or 70? Or why aren't cars governed? Why aren't they just governed? But Dave, come on, you can't compare a car that has a speedometer that goes 140, but really should only go 65 according to the law. You can't compare that to this terrorist or whoever he is, Martin, whatever his name was. I hate repeating though. I'm not going to give that guy any name or any whatever, any recognition more than he deserves. Yeah, his gun was more. His gun was at 140 miles an hour. And he killed a lot of people with that. Over 50 people. Injured, 50 people. That affected the world in a negative way. And if I go over 100, over 80, over 90, over 100 in this car, I could use it in a negative way. It could become a very dangerous weapon. Most people don't go in their cars and go high speeds and kill. Not in 50 people all in one shot like this guy did. But I'm just giving you an example. This is dumbing it down with Dave. This isn't CNN with Wolf Blitzer or all these guys. I don't have a crew. I don't have a whole thing. I've already made that very clear. It's just me. And this is dumbing it down with Dave, and these are my thoughts coming out of my dumb little head. And if you're listening, then you're one of my dum-dums. I'm not saying dum-dums in a non-intelligent way. I'm saying dum-dums as a term of endearment. You're one of the dum-dums who likes a podcast that doesn't overreach its limitations. Overreach its, with the big words, with the Ivy League graduates that do the sports on ESPN and all these other shows. This is a Joe. I'm an average, everyday Dave. I'm not going to call myself an everyday Joe. I'm an everyday Dave. Yeah, that weapon is a little bit much. Is he allowed by law to own one? Yes. And you like to think he's sane enough to use it in the right way. Whatever the right way is for that type of rifle, which I can imagine the only way you would want to use that weapon, rifle, whatever it is to kill 50 people. Well, Dave, that's what we're trying to say. That's what this side is trying to say. That the only reason why you would have that gun is do you want to kill 50 people in one shot? Yeah, I know. I still think you got to be careful what you wish for. If you really want that much regulation, be careful, because it can backfire on you. I don't really have specific examples. I guess they can say you can't have gay clubs. The government can say you can't have gay clubs. A club can't even be termed a gay club. They might say that. They might say you can't have a gay club with more than 25 people or 50 people because they don't want the gay population, congregating and multiplying. They don't want it to be popular. I don't know. I'm just putting out examples. It's not a good example, maybe, but be careful what you wish for when it comes to government regulation. That's all I'm saying. I would never probably own an assault weapon. I've never shot one. And I'll be honest with you. I think it would be interesting. It would be interesting to hold one of those in my hand and shoot it. I'm just saying it would be interesting. Would it be fun? It might be. It might be terrifying. I might do it once and never do it again. By the way, and it pertains to this Orlando episode. I'm not buying a motorcycle. For those of you who have not been listening to the show for the last couple of episodes, where I talked about the possibility. Oh, trooper at the toll booth. Gotta put down my phone. I'm wearing my seatbelt. So, oh, good. He's going the opposite direction. That was close. I saw him roll up his windows. Oh, he's coming for me. He saw my phone in my hand, but it's down by my belly, which obstructs everything. All right, so way over 30 minutes today, but that's okay. I'm not buying a motorcycle, and the reason why, I'll go into it maybe in my next episode. That was going to be this episode, but the Orlando thing kind of turned everything around. I did it. Just like if I went and shot an assault weapon, I went and did a couple of test drives, and I didn't care for it. It wasn't fun for me. I don't have enough miles. I don't have enough seat time for riding a motorcycle to be fun for me right now. It didn't appear as if it was going to be fun. So I didn't want to invest over $10,000, $11,000, $12,000, including the jacket, the helmet, the gloves, the insurance, the 6 years of monthly payments of $100 and some odd dollars. I didn't want to invest over $10,000, $11,000, $12,000 into a luxury item, by the way. A luxury item, not a necessity. A luxury item that I wasn't sure I was going to even enjoy. I didn't want to take a chance that in a year or two I'd be like, I don't enjoy this. But guess what? I'm stuck with 5 more years of payments on a motorcycle that, am I going to sell it? Oh, I hate selling cars, and I hate doing that. I always feel like I take a bath on those things. I always lose money, and it's people coming to my house. The whole thing of selling a bike or a car, I hate it. You must hate it too, right? Don't you hate it? Don't you hate selling things? Now, very few people really enjoy the negotiation and the possibility of a profit or the eventuality of a loss and the negotiation. I don't like it. Some people love it. I don't love it. Okay, so let's move on. Assault weapons. Excessive. Guns. Are they a necessity? Yes, to some, owning a gun is a necessity. To others, it's a danger. I don't think either side is wrong, and it's okay. And the problem is that we don't let it be okay. I have an acquaintance who I have not kept in touch with, who is a police detective, I guess. I met him at a wedding about 3 years ago, 5 years ago. I don't even remember how long it was. When we had a nice conversation about life, about his police work and my fatherdom, because he was about to get married. Not at that wedding. No, what was I? I was at a graduation party. I don't remember now. But anyway, he was about to get married. And he invited me to go shoot a gun. We talked about bullets, how expensive they are and all that because of Obama's presidency and the threat of the weapons being removed from the market. So everything went up in price. So Obama was one of the greatest things to happen to the gun and weapon industry because the cost of everything went up. Not good for the people who want to buy these things, but good for the industry because apparently they're making a lot of money. So I think one of the problems is we don't let it be okay. Let it be okay. They want to use guns. I know. You got guys with guns, walking into Burger King, with their assault rifle on their back because they want to make a point. I've heard that on the Greg Proops podcast that these guys in certain states are walking around with guns. I know. It's like, where are we? We're in what Clint Eastwood movie? The dirty, whatever it is. Pale Rider, Unforgiven, all that. It's exhausting. It's exhausting because everybody wants what they want, but you guys gotta calm down and you gotta listen and you gotta forgive. You gotta forget. You gotta move on. You gotta accept. Everybody's different. This is a great country. Everybody's different. They want what they want. You want to dance in your hot shorts at a gay club and you want to congregate with some of your friends, and some of them, if you're a man, some of them are effeminate and wear women's makeup and dress flamboyantly, and that's fine. You're doing it at a club, and that's what clubs are for. They're called a club for a reason. I don't know the definition of a club, but I know what clubs are all about. There's gay clubs, there's book clubs, there's gun clubs, there's fishing clubs, there's hot rod clubs. Everybody's got a club, and that's fine. It's great. It's America. Everybody has a club. We're the United Clubs of America. We are. but not really. Kind of separated too. Whatever. So, I think it's okay. It's okay to be gay. It's great to be gay. Enjoy your gayness. I think it's great. And it's okay to be a hater. I don't agree with hating. Although, listening to this podcast, you might go, wait a minute, Dave, you're kind of giving mixed signals. Well, I hate sort of comedically. I hate in a very loving way. Is that possible? Yeah. Because you know what? I'll never hurt anybody. That's kind of key right there. That's why I left you a little moment of silence there. I'll never hurt anyone. I won't like you. I won't interfere with your life. I won't get involved as far as what you want to do. I just won't like it. Will I talk about you behind your back? Yeah, maybe. Maybe I'll say something I shouldn't say. That moron. That fat bastard. And by the way, I would only say fat bastard because I'm a fat bastard. So I only say things that I would say about myself. Or say things that I know that people would say about me. That bald fuck. That Jew. Yeah, well, that's kind of the obvious, but that middle-aged, overweight, fat bastard. Yeah. That slug. Well, whatever. There's a lot of things you could say about me. His parents are deaf. Ugh. Whatever. They're mentally retarded, handicapped people. Yeah, man. I've heard all that. I've heard everything. So it's sad. It's a horrible time in the United States of America because these unfortunate people are either dead or they've been severely injured and their families are severely affected, and it's horrible. So what's the takeaway? Because I'm about to get into my parking spot. I got to go to work, and we're way over half an hour. What's the takeaway, Dave? Takeaway is you got to calm down. You got to listen. We have to talk. We have to listen and talk. We have to be okay with our emotions, with their emotions, with our desires, with their desires. We have to be more open-minded. We have to be more fair. How does that happen, Dave? Everybody has said this before. You're not the first one. Yeah, I know. I'm just doing my podcast. And so pass it on. You see somebody, say something. They say, see something, say something. You see somebody, pass it on. Say, hey, how you doing? I mean, not, hey, you're gay, right? Don't do that. Well, I don't know. I guess you could do that, but just anybody. When you go to the convenience store, when you go to the PTA meetings, you go to the soccer field, just say, hey, how you doing? Hey, my name is Dave. Hey, my name is Mark. Hey, my name is Anna Marie. Hey, my name is Mike. How you doing? What's up? It gets a little weird. Say, listen, I got to go. Because that's normally what happens to me. I regret saying, hey, and I go, ooh, I got to go. This turned into, I never meet the person. I go, hey, I want to know you more. Wow, this is going to be a great friendship. That very rarely, if never, happens to me. Okay, so I just offended a bunch of people that think that we're great friends. Because we had that meeting, and then now, we're still good friends. Or we're great friends, or however you want to describe our friendship or acquaintance. I'm just saying, just say hello, say hi. Give them a nice handshake, a hug, a pat on the shoulder. They don't have to be gay. How could we have prevented this? I don't know if we could have. I don't know how we're going to prevent further mass shootings and mass killings. I really don't have the solution to that. I don't think President Obama does. I don't think Donald Trump does. I don't think Hillary Clinton does. I don't think Bernie Sanders does. I don't think anybody really knows how to avoid this happening in the future. I really don't. Is it keeping Muslims out of this country? No. That's not going to stop it. I do think we have to control something. But Dave, that's the government. You said you don't want them to control. Yeah, I know. That's how difficult it is. But the government is the only people that can control who comes in and out of this country. And the people who have done damage over the last several years, since 9/11, have been a certain group of people. What type of people is that, Dave? Well, I guess for the most part they have been Muslim. Muslim extremists, Muslim radicals. I don't know. What do I know? I'm just a truck driver. We used to have a simple time just blaming Nazis. and blaming the KKK for everything. Remember those simpler times? All we had to do was blame the KKK. Anyway, it's hatred. It's a misunderstanding. I know whether we've done things. We've done things. This United States of America has done bad things in other countries. In Iraq, in Afghanistan, in Iran. I don't really know the specifics. And I'm saying countries, I don't even know where these places really are. And I think 90-some-odd% of the people in this country, the dum-dums who would listen to the show if they knew that this show was worth listening to, most of us are dum-dums. 90%, 95% of the country, I think, is dum-dums. I think 5% of the population is a very small part of the population that knows what's going on. And I think those are the people that actually work in television and news media. I think the only people that really know what's going on are the people that work, and they don't even know what's going on. Most of us are too busy working. Isn't that true? Aren't you really busy working? So how can you possibly keep up? How do you possibly know where all these places are? And how do you possibly know the history of what America has done, positively and negatively, in these other countries? I can't imagine we're innocent, guys. I really can't imagine we're all that innocent. I don't know if we're all that guilty either. I don't know if we're guilty of genocide, like some countries have been, and I don't know. We've never abducted 40 girls and then, they disappeared. What is it, the Boko Haram? I don't even know. Who can keep up with all these crazy names? They're not crazy, but they're crazy to me because I'm an ignorant American and I only know what little I know. So, there's a lot going on in this world. A lot of it is sad. A lot of it is scary. A lot of it is bad. I'm sure there's still good. I don't really know what it is anymore. And I hate to leave you on a down note, but I'm just trying to be honest. I can be dumb. That's not hard to do. But to be honest, well, that's not hard to do either. But I'm just letting you know that this show has no agenda. I have no agenda. So you're not emailing me, but if you do email me at dumbingitdownwithdave@yahoo.com, understand that I have no agenda. I'm not bringing there's no dog for me in this fight. I hate to say that because dog fighting is bad. I have no dog in this race. I have no horse in this race. I have no politician in this race, left or right. My hope is that there's truth. Somebody asked me the other day, you think there's a truth? Yes, I do think there's a truth. I really do. And we have a hard time accepting it because we just carry around an agenda, whether it's to the extreme left or whether it's to the extreme right or whether it's American or whether it's Muslim or Catholicism or whatever it is. There's a small part of us, a large part of us, I have no idea of knowing the number, of people, of human beings on this planet that just are very fixed on that one thing, their agenda, and nobody wants to listen. And then we have a problem. So I listen, and I'm open-minded. I don't carry around an agenda. If you think I do, please email me. I'd like to know what you think. I really do. That would make this interesting podcast even more interesting, this Orlando episode. So where we started off a little silly and ridiculous, and now we're ending up as serious as I possibly can. I haven't made a joke in a while. So I'd like to know what you think. Dumbing it down with Dave at yahoo.com. I'm on Twitter too, but nobody tweets, whatever, at dumb Dave. I have no idea what the Twitter is. It doesn't matter. But if you email me, I'll read it. I'll read it on the air. Unless you specifically say not to read it on the air, in which case, what's the point? Then what's the point of emailing me? I got to do a show here. So it helps out, and we can have this dialogue on this podcast. CNN isn't really asking you. None of these other outlets are asking you really what you think. So I am. I'm curious what you think, and we can start a dialogue. And I'm also on Facebook too, I guess. Dumbing it down with Dave at Facebook, or Dumb with Dave, all that stuff. But I don't have an agenda. I just want the world to be happy. I want everybody to be at peace. I want everybody to have a meal. I want everybody to be warm when it's cold, and they should be cold when it's hot. And I want it to be dry when it's wet, and I want it to be wet when it's dry. You know what I'm saying? I want everybody to have an opportunity. What a world that would be. You talking about utopia? Well, I don't think utopia is impossible. I mean, you got to redefine utopia in a way, or you got to find another word. A dumbed down utopia. A utopia enough. And that's a word you'll hear me say, on this podcast. Enough. What is enough? Ugh. It's the greed that gets us in trouble. It's the selfishness that gets us in trouble. It's so much that gets us in trouble because a lot of us don't know when there's enough. It's a crazy thing. It's a sickness. Like a gamblerholic or alcoholic. When is enough enough? I don't think I know my enough. I'm pretty content, but I work every day towards a goal. I have small goals. Little goals, and I'll tell you next episode what I'm doing instead of the motorcycle. We're not going to get into it now. But I have goals. I have podcast goals. I have life goals. We all should have goals. How do you end up with an assault rifle in a gay club in Orlando, Florida? What was it, an hour from his home? Over an hour from his home? He had a wife, a second wife. He had a kid. Had a job. What was different this week than last week? What's with all that? What is that evolution from an American citizen born in New York? Somewhere down the path, they say he got radicalized. I don't even know if I know what that means anymore. Radicalized. Was Charles Manson radicalized? Was the guy from Waco, was he radicalized? I don't remember his name. Dave something, right? Who's David Berkowitz? Was he radicalized? By the way, the day after I'm watching the news or on the internet, I got to end this podcast. I could go on and on. Apparently, we average 39 infant deaths a year in infants left in cars. I just heard today a lieutenant left his cop. He forgot. He left his dog, his canine, in the car for like 3 or 4 hours, and the canine died. You left your dog? And that's how busy we are? That's how unfocused we are. 39. We average 39 a year. We had 12 or 13, whatever it is. So far, we're in June. We've already killed like 12 or 13 or whatever. I forgot what the number is of babies, infants. They're in a car seat. That's why they're infants. Or they're infants because they're in a car seat. Whatever it is. That's a lack of focus. That's a lack of attention. That's a certain selfishness. There's something going on, folks, and it's not being a Muslim. It's not being a Jew. It's not being an NRA member. It's not any of those things. There's a human component here. There's a lack of focus. There's a lack of meditation. There's a lack of there's just a lack of being in the moment. I know these are all sort of artistic, actor and whatever words, hippy dippy words, but it's something going on. There's a weirdness. There's a malaise going on. There's something. I'm not smart enough to really put it out in a phrase or a sentence that makes sense to everybody. But I hope you get the gist. This is Dumbing It Down with Dave. This isn't some highfalutin PBS, Freakonomics or Radio Lab. This is just me holding a phone in my hand, starting to sweat in my Kia Rio, sitting in my parking lot 5 to 10 minutes above and beyond what I should be. I should already ended this podcast a long time ago. But I do have something to say, and that's why I do this podcast. And it makes me feel better knowing that I've said what I wanted to say, even though nobody's listening and nobody's commenting, nobody's following, nobody's liking, nobody's emailing me. That's okay, because I will repeat that over and over again. I will. If you don't want me to repeat it over and over again, then email me. Then follow me, then like me, and whatever. Do what you do for other podcasts. But that's okay. There is a sickness, folks. Something's going on. It's not chemtrails. It's not a government conspiracy. It's just an overall dumbing it down of the population. There is an overall dilution of quality, a dilution of integrity. There is a watering down. And it's not from interracial marriage and all that stuff. It's a weird Kardashian effect. It's a weird Paris Hilton thing. You know what I'm trying to say? It's money for nothing, on your MTV, that type of deal. I don't know. We lack resourcefulness. We lack pioneerism. There's something lacking now. Or we have it, we just don't have it as much as we used to. Or there's too much technology and a lot of us can't keep up, so we resort to the stupidity that we resort to. I don't really know. I don't know if Stephen Hawking knows. I don't know who knows. I don't know if Warren Buffett knows. I wish I was smart enough to know, because I know there is a solution. I know there's a truth. Can the president make a difference? Yeah, I think he can. Will the next president make a difference? No, I don't think he or she will. I don't know. I hope so. Was Kennedy our last hope? I don't know. He was messing around on his wife. So, who knows if he was going to really make a difference had he not been killed. I don't know if any of the Kennedys could have made a difference. I think you make a difference. If I could simplify it, I think you make a difference. Just you. If I had 1 million people listening to this podcast, 8 million people listening to this podcast, whatever it was, and they all listened and they all said, yeah, he's right. I'm going to go home and make a difference. I'm just going to take care of my kid, my kids, my wife, my husband, my mommy, my daddy, my friend, my acquaintance, my neighbor, my boss, my coworker, the person on the street that needs help, across the street, whatever. Those good old Boy Scout values. Dave, aren't the Boy Scouts anti-gay? Yeah, I know. Just let it go, okay? You know what I'm saying? Just take care of yourself. Take care of your shit. I say that all the time to people. I say it to my wife because I get angry when people rely on her to help out constantly. She gets phone calls all the time for babysitting, house sitting, parent sitting, just all this stuff. And she says yes all the time, my wife. What an angel. And I get angry because I want my wife to have a life. And I go, why can't people just take care of this shit? Take care of your damn shit. How hard is it? Pay attention. Shut off the TV. Stop eating that food. Don't stay at the bar this long. Go home. Go home right after work. Get some sleep. Take a nap. Exercise. Save your money. Do something right. Get on with your life. Make a difference in your life and somebody else's life. All right. Good enough. Less than an hour. Okay. Well, it's not exactly a half hour. If I could have edited this, I would have edited it into 2 parts. This is the special Orlando episode. I'm going to call it the Orlando episode. And I appreciate you tuning in. Try to listen to Pipe Dreams on the Comedy Pipe Network. I already gave them 2 plugs in this episode, and I want to end this under an hour. So, dumbing it down with Dave at yahoo.com. Please email me. You want to like it? Like it. You want to follow it? Follow it. You don't? You don't. Email me so I can read your emails on the air and we can continue this conversation. This and every other conversation we had. 19 episodes. Not too shabby. All right, guys. Take care. Thanks for listening. So until next time, right? Good day, good night, goodbye, good luck, and of course, great skills.